112th Open would be something special, that's for sure. That fact was made clear by 5:40 p.m. on the first day.
Craig Stadler, last year's Masters champion, this to finish 7 under.
Stadler's 64 was a first-round record for the Open. The crowd, nearly 29,000, was a record too. TV was beginning to beam to a record international audience, and that audience saw at least one sensation.
Bill Rogers, second shot to the 17th, 526 yards at par 5. It's in for an albatross too, a double eagle, and that's the way to smarten up your scorecard. Wondrous shot from Bill Rogers.
The course was controversial. Some thought it too difficult, and they may well have included the young American Bobby Clampett. Last year, he so nearly won. This year, he strode out to the first par 4 hole and took 8. But others felt the splendid but watered greens and the hot, dry conditions rendered it easier. And at the end of that first day, the position was this, with 30 players beating the par of 71. By 11 o'clock on the second day, another record crowd had seen another record score.
Dennis Dernian from the Northenden Golf Club near Manchester.
Dernian had gone out in 28, the best ever first 9 in the Open. And soon, from others, the pressure was mounting on the distinctly portly but highly professional Mr. Stadler.
Third shot to the par 4 18th.
Stadler, with a 70, finishes 8 under par for the 2 rounds. But others have drawn close, and at 4 minutes past 6 in the evening, Tom Watson comes to the final hole needing a birdie to tie for the lead.
Can he do it? Can he do it? Just not firm enough.
So, the nearest challengers to Stadler at halfway are Watson, the defending champion, and Lee Trevino, who won here in 1971. And to satisfy the cravings of a crowd voluble as they are knowledgeable, there is also Nick Faldo.
This for a 68. Marvellous score for Nick Faldo to follow his 68 of yesterday, and he's right up there with the big boys at the top of the leaderboard.
On the stage of the world's greatest golf championship, could there be a more illustrious or evocative cast list as we enter the third day? A third day on which, as we arrive, the early starters are already finishing.
And among them, the great Arnold Palmer. This for a 67. Oh, just shaves the hole. Oh, but a great putt and a marvellous 68 for Palmer. 3 under today, 1 over for the 3 rounds, and that'll certainly get him into tomorrow's final round. Yes, sir, and that in turn means he qualifies automatically for next year's Open when he'll be 54. Meanwhile, back at the 9th, 410-yard par 4, it's the new United States Open champion, Larry Nelson, level par. Second shot downwind. The wind hasn't really blown as we know it can at Royal Birkdale. That's a good shot and a chance for a birdie 3. Nelson, who putted so magnificently to win the United States Championship. No, that dribbles away rather weakly. But he gets his par and stays left. Not having a particularly impressive championship here so far, and neither indeed by his own high standards is this man, the mighty Jack Nicklaus. Third shot at the 18th. Ah, that's the way it's been, and I fancy Jack will finish this third round at 2 over par. And as he finishes, the leading contenders are just going out. That's how they stand, and at the first, it's Nick Faldo. This hole proving so far to be one of the most difficult on the course. 450 yards, a par 4. Faldo's second shot. 2 iron. Finds the edge of the green, and he's certain to make a much better start than he did in the first round, where he started 6 here and 6 at the next. But over on the other side of the fairway and in trouble, the defending champion, Tom Watson. Just look at that lie. I do believe, yes, he's going to have to deem this unplayable.
I understand. I understand where it is, sir. I understand very much where
Yes,
it is.
Tom understands, all right. He's taking the option under the rules of measuring off 2 clubs' length from the ball. Drops it, and that's a penalty stroke of 1. So now he'll be playing 3. And using a 3 iron. I don't see it, and I have a feeling he's short and to the right as he's coming up towards this opening hole. Yes, he's up on the bank, still some 50 or 60 yards from the green, playing 4. Pitching wedge. And just runs through the back of the green, and what an unhappy start for the defending champion, Tom Watson. Still a good deal of distance between him and the hole, and a double bogey 6, a distinct possibility. Nick Faldo, though, long putt for a birdie 3. Oh, magnificent effort from Faldo. A certain par 4, and he stays 6 under. Now Tom Watson for a 1 over par 5. Well, neat enough, but that's a double bogey 6, and straight away, Tom goes to 5 under par. They move away, and they're followed up this first hole by the final pair, Lee Trevino and the championship leader, Craig Stadler.
Fade.
Second shot, 2 iron.
Right in the bunker.
White. White.
And is he right? Yes, he is, right in the bunker. That bunker just short of the green on the left. Now Lee Trevino. The years are ticking by. 43 years of age now, but playing quite beautifully here this week. Familiar style. Up and down and across. Carries it right onto the green. A good opening second by Trevino. Now the very formidable figure of Craig Stadler, playing 3 from the sand. A good effort from there. The bunkers here are very deep indeed. Now Trevino, long putt for a birdie 3. How that snaked away. Well, I certainly don't know, and I'm sure Lee doesn't either. But that will be a par 4, and we'll keep him at 7 under. Now Stadler to save his par 4. And so, a 4 for him. A good recovery from the bunker, and with Trevino holing out, they fill the top 2 places at 8 and 7 under par. And ahead at the second, Watson 5 under par. And Faldo 6 under.
What do you think? 6?
And then between that and 5. Between 3.
Again, he's missed the fairway on the left. This hole, par 4, 423 yards. No real problem with that lie.
Yeah, got it, Tommy.
Chance for a 3. From much the same angle, but with a much more difficult shot. Look how the ball well below Faldo's feet. 7 iron. Kept his balance very well there, Faldo. Oh, and Faldo's ball really digging in. The greens are beautiful, but very holding indeed. Well, now, a friendly gesture, but I think that brew may be a little too strong at this particular moment. Watson for a 3. Oh, caught the edge. And Tom will tap that in for a par 4. Now, has Faldo learnt from that line of Watson's? And no, down the left-hand side also, so a couple of par 4s. And they're succeeded again by Stadler and Trevino.
42 and 11.
42 and 11, magical yardages worked out now, these modern players almost working to fractions of distance. 6 iron. The flag 11 yards on the green. Stadler 7 iron. Well, the last hole was causing them lots of problems. A bit of respite here, and he didn't look all that pleased with that second shot, but he too has a good chance for a birdie. Trevino first to putt. Was robbed at the first. Not so here. A birdie 3 and goes to 8 under par, and at this moment he shares the lead with Craig Stadler. Now, can Stadler match that birdie 3 of Trevino's? Wonderful putt. He still leads, 9 under par.
Few of the overnight challengers are making much progress today. Terry Gale, the Australian, 4 under par at the start, dropped strokes over the first 9. And so do Rogers, the champion of 1981. Hal Sutton, the big US money winner. Dennis Dernian, yesterday's hero. And Hale Irwin, whose low watermark is to come later. Not through missing a putt, but by missing the ball on a tap-in. As to the leading contenders, a pattern forms which has no pattern. Success is strangely punctuated by failure. Birdies are precisely compensated for by bogeys. After more than 2 hours golf and all this toing and froing, the top 4 overnight stand precisely as they did then. Faldo 6 under, Trevino 7 under, Watson 7 under, and Stadler 8 under. And only 2 others have marched forward. One is David Graham from Australia.
Putting at the 17th. An eagle 3. And suddenly, David Graham is 6 under par.
And the other is Ray Floyd from the States.
This also for an eagle. No, slid away, but that's Floyd's 3rd birdie, and he moves ahead of Faldo and Graham at 7 under. And indeed, with Watson and Trevino, he's now only 1 behind the leader, Craig Stadler. Par 5 15th, he's using a putter from well short of the green, employing the famous old Scottish run-up. Beautiful shot from Craig Stadler. But, well, Stadler's got a putt for a birdie. Trevino struggling for his par. This for a 5. So a bogey for Trevino and a birdie for Stadler. And that's how they stand now as Floyd approaches the final green of his 3rd round. And that will not help his cause one bit.
The platform is almost set for the final surprises of round 3. Floyd will take 5 at the 18th and fade to 6 under, as behind him Faldo and Watson both birdie the vulnerable 17th. Watson, then, is now just 1 shot, and Faldo 2 off Stadler's lead.
Faldo then from the rough at the 18th. Not lying all that well. Oh, but a lucky bounce, really. Pitched short of the bunker, leapt over the top and charged on and almost got to the front of the green. Now in the rough yet again, and this doesn't look good at all. 4 iron, made good contact. And look at this, charging through the back of the green and up the slope. But a good escape also for Watson. Tremendous reception for Faldo. And behind him, on the 18th tee, Stadler prepares to drive. Very anxious. He's pushed it, and that's not a million miles away from the out-of-bounds fence, and that could be in a bad place. Well, he may have given a little encouragement to the pair ahead. Faldo's 3rd shot, nicely thrown in, but a little wide. But a chance, a good chance for a 4. Watson's 3rd. From above the level of this final green. Well played, just stopped it a bit short.
Come on, Nicky, baby! Remember the Bulldog, Nicky!
Well, a lot of vocal support, but I'm not too sure it's doing this young man much good at the moment. This for his par 4. Faldo glares. More at his caddy, I think, than the antics of the crowd. Perhaps the wrong line was given. In it goes for a 71, level par today. 6 under for the 3 rounds, but might so easily have been 7 under. And the young face suddenly looks very weary. Tom Watson. This for his par. Dead center. A 70 for Watson. 3-round total of 205, 8 under, and just 1 behind Stadler, who, as you can see, is in all sorts of trouble. All he can do is hack it out of that atrocious rough, and in a way, lucky to get it back to the fairway. He's still a long, long way from the green, and is virtually certain of dropping a stroke here. 3 iron for his 3rd. And that's pushed. He'll do well to get a 5. He'll do very well to get a 5. Trevino, meanwhile, well, he too struggles near the back of the green in 4. Stadler, with an awkward length bunker shot, playing 4. And that's never enough. Well, 4 gone, and still a long way from the hole. His young caddy Canadian, Lorne Duncan, had many a heart fluttering here this week. Holds the flag as the big fella tries for a 1 over par 5. Good line, but no pace, and still work to do. You wonder how on earth he can smile at a time like this. He's led for 3 days, and now, at the end of this 3rd round, his world is crumbling. But now Trevino, playing 5. Oh, well, that surely will feel like an eagle for Trevino instead of a 1 over par 5. A round of 73 today, 5 under. There he stands at 208. A 6 for Stadler, a round of 72, and what a tragic end to this 3rd round for the former Masters champion. He's led for so long, but a double bogey 6 there cost him the lead. The lead now held by Tom Watson.
At 8 p.m, out on the practice tees, stand just 2 of the top contenders, Faldo and Watson. The American leads, but was erratic off the tee. The British player goes through his bag as a routine and as insurance against losing the swing in which he's grown confident. Tomorrow, to say the obvious, will be a big day. Today, Sunday, July the 17th, will be one of the most exciting days in the championship's history. And for home crowd patriots, the afternoon begins with bad news. Faldo's dropped a shot straight away at the first hole.
And now he's at the 2nd. Off the fairway, but a good line into the green. Just when he wanted it to run forward, he really got a tremendous amount of backspin. Trevino, playing with Faldo today. Well, he also bogeyed the first hole. He's 4 under. Should get his par here. Faldo, 5 under. Dropped a stroke at the first. Oh, well, that'll cheer him up no end, and the smile back on that youthful face, and immediately he's back to 6 under par. Back at the first hole, Craig Stadler, 7 under par, 1 behind the leader Tom Watson, his playing companion today. Second shot, this big green, and you can see the flag tucked away on the right. And falls short. Well, bunker left yesterday, bunker right today. And that'll be a big disappointment for him because that was dead on line. Now facing a completely blind second shot, the leader, Tom Watson. 4 iron. Has he picked the right spot to aim at? He has indeed. Watson striving hard to become the first champion to defend his title successfully since Trevino did it 11 years ago. Stadler down in 2 from the bunker on the other side of this green yesterday in the 3rd round. Now, can he get up and down from here? Oh, very good indeed. Watson, long putt for 3. Beautiful putter, simple style. Fairly quick rhythm.
Go on, go on, get in, Bob.
And what a delightful opening putt from Tom Watson. A certain par 4, and he'll just brush that one in and leave the stage clear for Craig Stadler. This for a par. Oh, a little tentative. And that's a 1 over par 5 for Stadler. Well, he double bogeyed the final hole last night and bogeys at the first hole today, and it now drops to 6 under par. And we hear that Faldo, whom we saw birdie the 2nd, has also birdied the 3rd. He and Trevino now at the par 3 4th. Two for Trevino, who takes it all very calmly, but he's back to 5 under par. Now Faldo, also for a 2. Yes! 3 birdies in 3 holes. He's 8 under par and now shares the lead with Tom Watson. Meanwhile, just behind at the 3rd, a somewhat bizarre situation involving Australia's David Graham. His second shot, believe it or not, has finished up in that lady's shopping bag. Under the rules, of course, the shopping bag's a movable obstruction, and that means that David Graham is allowed to drop without penalty. Well, the ball has rolled more than the statutory 2 clubs' length, and if that were to happen again, which in fact it has, the ball can now be placed. So David Graham's 3rd shot at this par 4 hole. Birdied the 2nd. He's now 7 under par. Beautifully played, and virtually certain of securing his par 4. And now playing with him, Ray Floyd, 6 under, but a very good chance of a birdie 3 here. Beautiful putter, Floyd. Stands very upright. Shafted his putter longer than standard, and it's not going to tipple in. But that's 2 pars here at the 3rd. While back at the 2nd hole, it's Stadler putting for his par 4. Oh dear, the worst possible sort of start for Stadler. 2 bogeys in the first 2 holes, and he now drops to just 5 under par. Watson and Faldo 8 under, Graham 7 under. That's the way it is as Floyd putts at the 4th. Outside chance for a birdie 2. Yes, sir, and Floyd now also 7 under par.
And now for the others. The good times run out, or the bad times continue. Stadler's first applause for a par at the 3rd comes from himself, and his collapse will continue. Faldo drops his shot at the 6th, Graham at the 5th, Watson at the 4th. So now, 10 great players are separated by 2 strokes. And suddenly, Australia's Graham Marsh has become the most significant name on the board. 6 under par, but more important, he has only 2 holes to play.
Well, he's come virtually from nowhere. Just level par overnight, but today 6 birdies, no bogeys. Here he is at the par 5, 17th, 3rd shot. He's pushed his 2nd into the big deep bunker. Not an easy shot. Throws it high. It's a good-looking shot. Stops a little bit too quickly for perfection. But with Marsh in this mood, that looks like another birdie chance to me. If he can get it, it'll be his 7th birdie of the day. And it's there. Another birdie. And now it's a 4-way tie. Marsh, Watson, Floyd and Faldo, all 7 under. And Marsh, 2 hours ahead of them all at the final hole. His second shot, 1 iron. Boldly struck, just through the back of the green. Will it roll back? No, it doesn't. That leaves him a tricky one. We see David Graham's already sliding away down the leaderboard now, just 4 under. Huge crowds massed round this 18th green. Marsh prowls around. Taking his putter from off the bank. And what wouldn't he give to hold this for a 63? Not quite the pace. A round, though, of 64, I'm certain of that. Equaling Stadler's course record set on Thursday, 7 under par, and of course, the leader in the clubhouse.
To the leaders and contenders gaining momentum like Hale Irwin, the news comes swiftly, and as a shock to the system they will long feel.
Suddenly we see this score of his being posted, and it gets lower and lower and lower, and I'm thinking, what's he doing? He's cutting across.
There he was in 72 holes, and I thought that's a hell of a good score. Saying that it was a shock was kind of an understatement about Graham. When the wind started to pick up through the middle part of the round, it was stiff enough where it could cause some problems at Birkdale.
Well, out on the course, all sorts of things happening. Floyd's crumbling away. Watson's bogeyed again at the 9th, and we've got some new challenges. Here's Harold Henning from South Africa at the 13th.
Take a chair now, take a chair. Take a chair.
And that would have surely put the cat among the pigeons had that gone in, for it was a long, long putt for an eagle 3, and that would have put 48-year-old Henning to 6 under par. As it is, it's a birdie, and he's 5 under. So he's in with a shout. Hale Irwin's going well. He's 6 under. And the man he's playing with shouldn't be discounted either. The giant American Andy Bean, 5 under. Second shot to the par 5 13th. And that really is a chance for an eagle. Irwin too has an eagle opportunity. But meantime, back at the short 12th, just 184 yards, it's Faldo, 7 under. And now sharing the lead with Marsh. Pulled it left. Up and in, and oh, out it comes miraculously. Tremendous gallery support for young Nick, still threatening to become the first British winner of this championship since Tony Jacklin 14 years ago. Tricky second shot off this bank. Tangled grass, he's well above the level of the green. The ball shouldn't, in theory, run all that far, but the lie's tricky. Fair bit of green to work with. And it charges by, 18 feet or more. And a crisis looming for Nick Faldo. And a stroke dropped. And for the first time for many a hole, there's a little look of anxiousness on the Faldo supporters. A stroke dropped. He goes back to 6 under.
Trevino also drops a shot at that 12th hole. But he's a man, as has often been said, whom you can't keep down.
Trevino at the 13th. Well, an eagle 3 at the 13th. and suddenly very much back in the hunt. Also 6 under par. And just look at that. Bean going 7 under, Irwin 7 under, Watson back to 7 under. So again, a 4-way tie. And ironically, this man, Seve Ballesteros, the Masters champion from Spain and one of the great pre-championship favourites, not even on the board. He's 4 under, playing his 3rd at the 17th. And a beautiful line. And that must surely be a birdie 4 for Seve. But he will get on at least some of those leaderboards now because he's 5 under par. Back at the 15th, though, it's Trevino and Fowler. Well, we saw Nick drop a stroke at the 12th. He just bogeyed the 14th with 3 putts. He's 5 under. This is the 3rd shot at this long par 5. Trevino already quite close for 3. Go on! No, but still a chance for a birdie. Trevino first. This to go 7 under par. And he's right back in the picture. No, just stays out, so he stays 5 under, but Trevino's now made it a 5-way tie at the top. And it looks to me very much like a playoff between some players, but which players? I just don't know. Now Watson at the 13th. Pushed his tee shot, found a good spot really, where the crowd have been trampling along. The ground is hard. It's only a 7-iron. Such is the strength of the wind. And that too is drifting away to the right. And catches the bunker. So 2 rather wayward shots from the defending champion, Tom Watson. Is he beginning to creak a little at the crucial moment? Meanwhile, up at the penultimate hole, the giant Andy Bean. The 17th, 526 yards, but this week, as we've seen, very much a potential birdie, eagle, even albatross hole. Bean second, 2-iron.
Right at it. Hop! Hop! Set out!
Oh, what a marvelous shot. And what a chance. And back at the 13th, Watson preparing to play his 3rd shot. This is a par 5. He can still get a birdie, but he's going to need a good bunker shot. So although he may have been a little bit careless with 2 of those shots, it's odds on that he's going to get a birdie here. In she went. Birdie 4, 8 under, and Watson takes the lead. Nevertheless, at the 17th, Hale Irwin, the former US Open champion, has a 7-foot putt for a birdie. But Andy Bean, after that magnificent 2nd shot, has a real chance for an eagle 3. If he gets it, he'll be 9 under par. No, didn't read the borrow there. But that's still a birdie, and Bean will go to 8 under, the same score as Watson. Now Irwin has this for the same score. All the way, so now it's a 3-way tie at 8 under par. What excitement round this 18th tee. The mighty figure of Andy Bean to drive first. Oh, he's ballooned that away. He does not care for it very much. Now Irwin.
Shot, Hale.
Looks a beauty. Meanwhile, back at the 16th, Trevino looks set for his par 4. Faldo putting for his par. No, that's the third holeable putt we've seen him miss, and in fact he's dropped, well, we must say dropped strokes over the last 5 holes, and his chance seems to be dropping away, but he's now just 4 under par. And at the top, that's the position. And at the final 72nd hole, Andy Beans pushed his tee shot away in the rough. Hale Irwin well placed down the fairway. Both 8 under par, both potential champions. Just over and up the slope, and not far from the hole. Bean ruefully looking at his ball in this horrid place. One missed tee shot could well cost him this championship. Tremendous blow with a 5-iron down the right-hand side. It hops out of the long stuff, but he's still some 30 or 40 yards from the flag. Tied with Irwin at 8 under. His chance may be slipping away. But at Hale Irwin, are we indeed looking at perhaps the new Open champion? Bean's lie looks good. The greens are still holding. Wind from the left. What a delightful stroke. A masterly touch from such a big, powerful man, Andy Bean, assured of a 4 here at the final hole. Now Irwin. Well, what wouldn't he give to roll this in? Putting down the hill. But he's not given it enough pace. And now suddenly Irwin talks away to himself in disgust. Yes, well held. A round of 67 for Hale Irwin. 276, that's 8 under par. Now the final tap in of Andy Bean, also a 67, also 8 under. And now all they can do is sit and watch and wait. So what a championship. 3 men now 8 under. And of course, Trevino, down there at 7 under, may well join them because he's safely on the fairway at this very vulnerable par 5 17th. Wind's dropped a bit though, Trevino needing a wood for his second. He cannot believe it. He's cut that ball away at least 30 yards wide of the target. Or he might be unplayable. Unplayable it is. He's had a penalty drop. This is his 4th shot. And would you believe it, I do think he's going to escape after all with a par 5. But that mistake means he'll have to get a birdie 3 at the 18th to tie with Bean and Irwin. And birdies at the 18th are hard to come by. But now the 16th hole and Tom Watson. He played a 3 wood from the tee, pulled it a little bit left. Not a bad lie. Only an 8-iron for Watson. He's tied for the lead at 8 under. And that is a majestic stroke. No need to look too hard at that one, Tom. That's super. A lot of the players, I'm sure, and the spectators would be thinking Watson would automatically birdie the 17th. But oh my, if he could just hold this. Quick putt down the hill. And what a moment to hold a putt like that for a birdie 3. 9 under now, Watson. 1 ahead, just 2 holes to play.
Ahead for Faldo and Trevino, an ovation at the final hole. But suddenly they're just supporting actors in the drama. Trevino will bogey and end up 5th behind Marsh. Faldo will par but finish 4 under for a share of 8th place. Just 3 men in it now, Bean and Irwin and Watson.
Who's failed to birdie the 17th and now faces the classic situation. A par 4 to win the championship. Benny's hit a corker. Right down the middle. Beautiful drive. All records broken here this week. Over 142,000 people. Masses of them on this final hole to witness this crucial shot. He's got to thread it between those bunkers. It's a 2-iron. Oh, good balance and rhythm. And he's off after it, and so are they. Oh, supreme, superb. What can you say? Those shots make champions. Now, where is he? He's somewhere in there. I hope he gets through safely. Ah, yes, there he is. 33 years of age and on the brink of his first championship victory outside Scotland. His second in successive years and his 5th altogether. A total surpassed only by 1 man, the great Harry Vardon. But first, Craig Stadler. 3rd shot. Warm applause for Stadler, who's played so much good golf here this week. He's decided to play out. He has this putt for a round of 75. Stadler finishes the championship at 3 under par. And he's made a lot of friends. Now Watson with 2 for the championship. Well, as Harry Vardon used to say, when you've got 2 for it, make sure you use them. A round of 70 and a 9 under par total of 275. A record for a championship at Royal Birkdale and the 3rd lowest winning total ever. He wins £40,000 and even more valuable, the title. The title announced by Keith Mackenzie for the last time as Secretary of the R&A, a post he's occupied for 16 halcyon years.
And the champion golfer for the year with a score of 275, Tom Watson.
So that was the 112th Open. Desperately exciting and damnably close. And even the champion is bemused.
Look at the board. I can't believe it. It's just great players just all over the board.
Aye, and what might-have-beens they represent. What does Stadler think? Finishing equal 12th, with the traditional silver scorecard from Britain's crown jewellers for the best score of the championship to remind him of a lead held for nearly 3 days. And then there's Faldo. What will he feel?
Crumbs, if those 2-3 putts had stayed away, you know, what would it have been? What could have been possible? You really don't know. It's all a dream. But at the end of it, I can look back and say I played and I was involved, which is a great experience.
Irwin, about whom it will be said forever that he lost by 1 stroke, the air-shot putt he perpetrated on the 3rd day.
I think there's been far more said and written about it than really in fact happened, because first of all, we can't assume that all the shots played thereafter would fall in that same sequence. And secondly, if they did, who's to say I would have beaten Tom in the playoff? I've learned, but again, I can't go back and say, if only, because I think that's not the nature of the way I think, nor the game of golf. You can't dwell on past history.
Finally, Tom Watson, who hadn't won a tournament for a year.
What a way to end a dry spell. Win the British Open, in England of all places.
Within this pleasant, smiling young man, one senses an underlying toughness, ambition, and resolve. And accordingly, at this moment, it seems inevitable that Varden's record of 6 Open wins will be beaten, and the history of golf much extended.